gun, get your gun, get your gun. Take it on the run, on the run, on the run. Hear them calling you and me, every son of liberty. Hurry right away, no delay, go today. Make your daddy glad to have had such a lad. Tell your sweetheart not to pine, to be proud her boy's in line. Over there, send the word over there, that the Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums rum-tumming everywhere. So prepare, say a prayer, send the word to beware. We'll be over, we're coming over, and we won't come back till it's over there.
The song you are hearing is called Over There. Just in case you're wondering, it has been a crucial road out there. For all of the war, many deaths of all types of sorts. From mustard gas to guns to trenches, with the events that took place over 100 years ago. This is World War I. To start off the war, it lasted from July 28, 1914 to November 11, 1918. Or, simply put, it lasted for 4 years, 3 months, and 2 weeks. It is the year 1914. European politics with that various empires spreading across the world trying to pick on each other to see who is the biggest empire. June 28, 1914, at Austria-Hungary, Sarajevo. 7 young Bosnian Serbs who were part of the nationalist Black Hand plan to assassinate Adolf Fridolin, heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary. The first attempt failed when a bomb was thrown at his car. Well, I don't know, a guy who would throw a freaking bomb at a car. But this is history, so he missed, and the attacker was arrested. As the car carrying France went down an alternate route, Garvelo Pep happened to be there. He shot and killed both Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie. Austria declared war on Serbia. Russia declared war on Austria. Then Germany declared war on Russia. Knowing that France would go to war on Germany, Germany decided to attack France quickly and to invade Berlin. And of course, because of this, England decided to join the party to stop the Germans to get any closer. This created 2 forms. I'm not too sure about you guys, but you know what they say, there's the good guys against the bad guys. Yeah. The good guys were called the Allied Powers, and the bad guys were Central Powers. Then it became known as the Great War, or the War to End All Wars. To start off, the Allied Powers contained France, British Empire, Russia, Serbia, Montenegro, Belgium, Japan, Italy, Portugal, Romania, Hesse, United States, Greece, and Spain. Central powers were Germany, Austria-Hungary, Ottoman Empire, Belgium, the Spanish Democratic Republic, Emirate of the House of Rashid, Divers States, Sultanate of the Full. A new form of warfare evolved as motorcycles, tanks, airplanes, machine guns, and a new form of chemical gas were happening for the military to use to get the upper hand of the war. During that time, national pride, or posters everywhere, men were proud to fight for the country and win the war. Some of them thought it would be a romantic idea for them to join the military. The boys at the age of 12 would lie about their age to join the military. I guess I'll fight the world for my girlfriend. I'm not too sure at the age of 12, but yeah. I was back in the day. only for them to discover that maybe they should have stayed home and not a thing to fight for one's country. Germany marched on Paris, but stopped by the French and decided to dig out the dirt to make the trenches, and which became known as the Western Front. Meanwhile, on the eastern side, Prussians invaded Austria-Hungary, but stopped in eastern Russia by the Germans. The Ottoman Empire joined the party on the side of the Central Powers. More and more nations from all over the world joined as the wars spread across Europe. Trenches were the worst place to be in. Each army would take a long network of trenches on the ground, defending the front with barbed wire and sandbags. It was a long tie or stalemate on either side who dared to advance on the enemy territory. This was known as no man's land. Machine guns were rather new and overpowered weapons. The army would advance to enemy territory when they would capture it, only when the time was right, scanning even more land to reach their goal. Spirits were high when the holidays came around. Christmas, both forces would come out of the trenches to celebrate Christmas together, share stories, and play football or soccer. Just in case you didn't know. I mean, Christmas, guys. World War I. Back in the day when everybody was still friends. The power of Jesus Christ is remarkable.
Jesus Christ, that's Jesus Christ.
When Christmas ended, both forces would climb back to the trenches to become enemies once again. It is now the year 1915, 1 year into the war. It was a nightmare condition that became even worse. France and Belgium could feel their feet rotting away in a consistent dump of water. In contrast, Australia, New Zealand, and Ottoman soldiers fighting in the Gallipoli had desert hot trenches where soldiers would be dehydrated and the overheating of the soldiers. To make matters worse, there were diseases everywhere in the trenches. Now, in the year 1916, saw a new push on the trenches on the Western Front from both sides. Thousands of French died as Germans outbroke their chlorine gas. And the infamous Battle of the Somme was a long battle and lasted from July to November. The first day alone saw over 80,000 men killed. 80,000! That's a lot! Fundamental errors and conditions from command led to confusion and unclear plans. In places, soldiers weren't organized in time to charge, so by the time they got to artillery had stopped firing on the other side, soldiers were charged to enemy territory. Planes were supposed to clear the German barbed wire, but the strap was not effective against the wire. When the order came to capture enemy territory, thousands of men would run to the death to be caught by the barbed wire and be picked off one by one from the German machine guns. The first use of tanks were used by the British, which we will get to that later. France and Britain pushed against Germany and gained much more ground by Christmas 1916. Now in this Christmas in 1916, it was every army for itself. Nobody wanted to play out and play football and, watch the Super Bowl, which didn't is expected. But on the sea, Britain made many patches of international water to stop the moving ships from Germany. Germany was blocked after many naval battles. Britain tried to stay in control of the seas, well, above the water at least. Germany had the attack with their U-boat submarines, and a new warfare they could attack without warning. Britain lost many ships, including the Lusitania. Because of this, broke loads of war rules. This influenced the one and only United States of America to join the party and end the war once and for all. British pushed the Iberian Peninsula with T.E. Lawrence, who helped to organize the Iberians against the Ottoman Empire.
Come out! It's over. Well, you did not think we would be fast enough to catch you here, did you? Lawrence of Arabia.
Actually, I was rather depending on it.
Hey, Lawrence. Well, this is very clever. Now the hunter becomes the hunted.
Now it is the year 1917. The Russians had a series of revolutions. In the October Revolution, the Bolsheviks took control and brought part of the people. Now, the year 1918, Russians peace treaty with Germany and pulled out of the war, causing difficulty for the enemy. The Allies, who however became refreshed with reinforcements from the United States, who decided to enter the war in 1917. After Germany tried to convince Mexico to attack them, Germany made a fierce and effective push before the Allies could get their advantage. However, American troops continued to arrive in more and so much many that Germany's army couldn't last any longer. The Allies pushed up from Italy and the Balkans and Middle East, putting Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman Empire out of the war. As the Allies advanced to the Western Front, Germany got an armistice to stop the fight and bring victory to the Allies and end the war once and for all. The war ended on the 11th hour, the 11th month, the 11th day in 1918. It took 6 months to negotiate terms. It was decided that Central Powers were to pay for the damages they had caused in the war. Germany only fully paid off this step in 2010. The map of Europe was redrawn. Men who survived the war were changed men. They were hunted by the horrors of the war. The men who were left to become the hero had only came back completely normal, wounded, or never returned at all. The poppy is a flower to remember the lives that were lost during the war, as the flowers grew in between the trenches.